Township Board meeting to order, Wednesday, February 19th, 2014. Let's start with the pledge of allegiance to the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Gadwau.
Present.
Kosloski, present. Mullens.
Present.
Smith.
Here.
Dean.
There.
You have a quorum.
Is there any additions to the agenda? Not, could we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion we approve tonight's agenda.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Agenda is approved. Approval of minutes of our regular board meeting, January 15th, 2014.
I have read them, so I will make a motion to accept them.
There's one thing, when I talked about the road projects, and we had all the roads in the township paved, we had all of them paved that were planned on being paved. And I made that statement in there that Muckle Road, or Lake Street, and the three that weren't paved. But there is some other short ones up by Six Farms that's not paved, that there's not many people living on that, and that wasn't part of our project. So just to clarify that, that's all. And beyond that, was there a second to that motion?
I'll support it.
Anyone else? No changes? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. So, minutes are approved. Public comment? There's no public comment. We'll move on to approval of invoices, $10,331.38.
I'll make a motion to approve the invoices as submitted.
I'll support.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Gadwau.
Yes.
Kosloski, yes. Mullens.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Dean.
Yes. Okay, we'll move on to officers' report. Fire Chief, Bill Chapman.
Thank you. We had 21 runs last month. 3 were fires and 18 rescue runs. And we did 2 runs into Echo Township last month. And we did training in a few areas, emergency medical services training. We did training in hazardous material and hazmat. We did training in station maintenance, and we did a lot of truck maintenance. And it was a fun month. We still have 2 firefighters in training and taking a firefighter 1 and 2 in Elk Rapids. And that's going very well. I checked with the head lead instructor over there, and they're both doing very good, he says. So we should have 2 finished firemen here in the early spring, mid-spring, I'm sorry.
Okay. Any further questions? Thank you very much for the report.
Thank you, Bill.
Treasury report, Andrew Smith.
I don't think there's anything too out of the ordinary, just as submitted.
Move on to clerk's report, Judy.
Well, we just found out that there's a possibility we will have an election in May, school election. But haven't received confirmation. It's for the Sharam School District. And that's all I have.
Okay, supervisor's report, and I have nothing. We did get the sheriff's department report. It's in the office if anyone wants it. That it was 102 events this month. So, again, that's available to anybody who wants to look at it. Move on to committee reports. Wage receiving station.
Yes, we've been quite busy up there at the waste receiving station with all the snow, the plowing. Our waste receiving man up there had borrowed the, what was it, the front end loaded sand plow back so we could get the trucks in and out. There's been quite a bit going on up there. We completed a whole new restroom for the men. And it was long coming because we had Johnny on the spot and it gets pretty cold up there. So this one's well insulated, isn't it, Mr. Bean?
Yes, sir. After you.
And we installed a new propane heater. We got a bigger tank up there to handle it. We took the furnace out of the waste receiving office up there, moved it down to the cemetery garage. And we put the tank, the old propane tank down the cemetery garage. And they did snow plowing at the fire hall, plus Bill does snow plowing there. They had to bring in the front end loader and take care of some banks there. And they've been taking care of the access site. Well, I'll give that report later. That's all I have for the waste receiving.
Move on to cemetery.
I don't have anything on the cemetery, so you know I'm gonna be working with Judy in the spring of the year on probably going through and taking a lot of pictures down here at Southern Cemetery on the stones to make sure they coincide with the map that we have. Outside of that, the only other thing I would have is under the lake access, so lake sites. Lots of ice fishermen out there and they're told us thank you, I don't know how many times for plowing them. We look like rocket scientists this year for snow plowing them.
Super, nice to hear. Glad they're in use.
There's lots of them out there.
And there's a lot of ice for them to go out on,
Yep.
so seems to be working. Okay, is that it to the cemeteries?
Yes, sir.
Anything on the facilities?
No, I know Sam's been doing a good job plowing. I don't know where he's gonna put any more if it keeps up. And that's all I have on the facility.
Okay, any other committee reports?
Yes, on the access sites, I was talking to Bill Chapman, our fire chief, today, and some people have asked him if we could take the DNR access site and plow it out so they could get down there to ice fish. It's a better site to get down on this side of the lake. Where our site is, right at the end of Bolton, there's such a, we can't get in there to plow. It's just, and then at the end, there's such a bad drop off, like the one over by Bob Wilson's house. So we've had Tony go in, and we're plowing that down there so they can get in there and they can go ice fishing.
Which one is that, Bill?
Right down at, by the ball diamond, on Intermediate Lake, West Intermediate Lake down here.
Did he get it plowed today? I know he got hung up.
I got hung up.
Because he called me. He called me and asked me, so we went and got him.
So I think he broke through though. Well, your guys were there with the two of them there, and they broke through, and he'll probably finish it up tomorrow.
If not, maybe we can help him out with the loader to get it open.
So that's all I've got on another
My
committee.
president says yes, we can.
Okay, any other committee reports? I guess that pretty well covers it. No unfinished business, move into new business. Approval of and accepting our budget for general fund, fire budget, and public improvement. Okay, we need a motion to approve our general fund budget, which was just been covered in a public hearing, which total revenue, well, actually, we're taking some funds out of fund balance based on $387,203.
I'll make a motion to approve and accept the 2014-15 budget for the general and fire funds.
Just general, I'm not going to get the total.
Oh, for the general fund.
I'll support the general fund.
Okay, No further comments, will clerk please call the roll?
Gadwau,
Yes.
Mullens,
Yes.
Kosloski, yes. Smith,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes. Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the public improvement fund? That's based on collecting $1 mil. Total of that fund is $353,100.
I'll make the motion that we approve the public improvement fund budget for 2014 and 15.
I will support it.
Clerk, please call the roll on that.
Gadwau,
Yes.
Kosloski, yes. Mullens,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Dean.
Yes. And we have a motion to approve the fire department budget. That's based on collecting $2 mil. $2,065,650.
I will make the motion to approve the 2014 fire district budget.
I'll support it.
Clerk,
Gadwau,
Yes.
Kosloski, yes. Mullens,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Dean.
okay, we'll move on to accepting resolutions. We have a resolution setting township officers' salaries. Supervisor base is $13,125, treasurer $18,650, clerk $19,000. Trustees are $150 per meeting plus $135 base pay for duties of managing cemetery and waste receiver.
I will make a motion to accept that, what you said.
And I'll support it.
Will clerk please call the roll?
Gadwau,
Yes.
Kosloski, yes. Mullens,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Dean.
Yes. And also, I've already made the statement, but we'll, board resolution number 3, and that is that we are going to levy the tax for the fire department at $2 mil, which is the same as it was last year. Okay. Oh, this is part of the,
Resolution 2 is 2 pages, that's 2.
Yeah.
This is the second page.
okay. Can I call the roll on that? Okay, call the roll, I'm sorry.
Well, you didn't say what it was.
Well,
On 2, we went to 3.
Well, it's based on the fire department budget.
police fire department budget.
But 2 is the general appropriation,
What's right?
the general fund.
Okay. Resolution 2, is, I already gave them out, I just didn't, the
Oh, okay.
resolution is just broken down that our budget is based on cost centers, and again, it's the same amount, it's just a general fund. I can read off the cost centers. The town board is $79,825, supervisors cost center is $16,198, election is $6,200, assessors $28,140, clerk cost center is $30,875, board review is $3,100, treasurer's cost center is $29,865, town hall is $48,200, 66 $5,350 for the cemetery, waste receiving is $68,000, Parks and Recs is $5,450, and the contingency is $5,000. And again, this is based on our general fund, and what this is saying is that instead of budgeting by line item, we budget by cost centers, and that is what this, so, can I have a motion to pass that resolution?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution number 2 of the fiscal year general fund budget appropriation.
I'll support it.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Gadwau,
Yes.
Kosloski, yes. Mullens,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Dean.
Yes. Our budget resolution 2 is again that we are collecting $2 million for the fire department. And that budget was $265,650. We have a motion to approve that.
We already did.
We did?
Yes.
Okay.
We're down to 5 now.
Okay, thank you. I need a keeper.
No, we need 4.
What?
We did last week.
Sam, you.
See that? I'm off now.
No, you're off. At least somebody besides me, that makes
Okay.
me feel a little better.
Depositories.
Okay, budget 4, resolution 4, in 2014 or 2015 is naming where our treasurer can invest funds. That's Mullens State Bank, First Marriott Bank, the class account, Cutwater Access Management is the correct name for it, National City Bank, Fifth Third, Huntington Bank, Charlevoix State Bank, Bay Winds Credit Union. Do we have a motion to pass that resolution?
I will make a motion to approve that, yes.
I'll support.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Gadwau,
Yes.
Kosloski, yes. Mullens,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Dean.
Okay, resolution number 5, years 2014 and 15 is a resolution that if either one of the trustees have to work up at waste receiving, that they will receive $15 per hour for the amount of time that they have to work at waste receiving. If any of the clerk or the supervisor or treasurer has to work there, there is no compensation for them. This only is for the 2 trustees. Do I have a motion to pass resolution number 5?
I'll make that motion, excuse me.
I'll support.
Clerk, please call the roll on that one.
Gadwau,
Yes.
Kosloski, yes. Mullens,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Dean.
Yes. Okay, we have 2 resolutions for budget amendments. First one will be taking money from the cemetery and putting it into the cemetery cost center and putting it into waste receiving. We'll be taking $5,000 out of one fund and putting it in 2 line items in waste receiving. We have a motion to,
I will make a motion to move that from the 101-276 account to the 101-215 accounts.
I'll support.
all in favor? Well, we call it all.
Gadwau,
Yes.
Kosloski, yes. Mullens,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Dean.
Yes. Second budget resolution, number 2, that is moving $4,000 out of cemetery into the clerk's cost center.
I'll make a motion to accept and pass budget resolution number 2.
I'll support it.
Clerk, please call the roll on that one.
Gadwau,
Yes.
Kosloski, yes. Mullens,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Dean.
Yes. to request by some township residents to be on the agenda, and they want to speak on agenda 21. State your name, Don.
Pardon?
I say state your name, would you, Don? Not to know we don't know you.
Robert Wilson, or Bob Wilson, and I'm here in regards to United Nations Agenda 21. And it's something that is well hidden, but it's, according to me, I would call it the backdoor politics, where it's sliding in, and it's gonna nail every one of us here. And I also have, as I told you, Stan, Bill Bailey will also be speaking on this. I'm just gonna get right to the point. My request to this board would be to accept to make the resolution for exposing the United Nations Agenda 21 and to, basically just get this over with. It's something that's gotta be stopped, and it's gotta be stopped in its tracks. I don't know if many of you know about the Agenda 21. You know, it's been, as everybody says, since 1988, and then in 1992, I believe it was brought back to phase. But it's just being slid in on all the government agencies. And the biggest culprit of it all is, of course, grant monies being offered to our governmental agencies, you know, to help sponsor this. And it's just not gonna be named as Agenda 21. There's several different names, and I'm sure Bill can hit on that when he gets up here. But basically, my request is for this board to support a resolution as such as Charlevoix County did, that we presented you with their copies. Just to get right down to the brass tacks on it, what Charlevoix has to say. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Charlevoix County Board of Commissioners recognizes the destructive and insidious nature of the United Nations Agenda 21 and hereby exposes to public policy makers the dangerous intent of the plan. That's just getting started. You can read the rest, and it's pathetic, but again, it's backdoor politics. We've got a lot of our surrounding counties, governmental agencies that have gone to this not knowing it was Agenda 21, but under other names. And again, Bill is very well informed on this. He comes from a county that is under Agenda 21. But again, please view this thing and read it. Take it to heart. And I ask, my request is for you to bring it back and have a resolution drawn up by this township. And I'm going to keep it short, Bill. I got a lot of paper I could read to you, but it's very involved. But again, I'll turn it over to Bill and let him give you a little taste of.
I know what you're talking about. I got books that
Pardon?
I got books on the Agenda 21.
Thank you.
Hi,
Thanks.
Bill Bailey. Is everybody here familiar with Agenda 21? I can tell you real quick what it is.
It'd probably be good for everybody
Right,
to hear.
I
Just
agree.
to- just to
The
give
best
a-
way is, right.
a real
I mean,
quick-
I read a few things on it.
Just a real quick, concise maybe description of it. Agenda 21 is based on radical climate change. We're burning up, we're emitting too many greenhouse gases. To the United Nations, America's middle class is a big danger. We're using way too many of the Earth's precious resources, so they'd like to, trim us down. We're evil. So the way Agenda 21 works is they want to move us slowly to the cities. The rural areas, you're driving too far. Combustion engine's bad, you're heating the planet up. So they'd like to, when it comes into the community, the way it will work, and the reason I'm here, I should back up a little bit. This is being discussed in Antrim County at the county level. I was at a meeting and they actually had the Agenda 21 book from the United Nations on the table. So this triggered this and I talked to Bob about it. I don't know that we're in danger here in Central Lake Township, but I thought, it'd be good for us to come up here and say, hey, they're talking about it at the county level. I've lived through it in Mason County, so, why don't we just have the discussion so everybody's on board? So anyways, the rural areas, we need to get the people away. They're using too many fossil fuels. So for instance, Bel Air really isn't a big enough city. Traverse City would be more the city to these people. So I'd like to slowly move us to Traverse City, get us on bicycles, walking. They'll take rural areas like Central Lake, and they'll say, we're stripping you of your development rights to your property. Maybe you've got 200 acres or 80, and you had plans maybe to develop it or whatever. You know, maybe you're gonna sell a 1 acre parcel when you turn older as supplement to your retirement income. They're gonna stop that. You know, they'll maybe say a 40 acre minimum split. So now they've stripped you of your development rights. Or they might take a commercial business, which they did to my friend Dan Cameron's, a 4th generation water well driller. He has commercial property between Scottville and Manistee on 31, high traffic, busy road. But he's out in the country and they don't want businesses out there. So they rezoned him from residential, from commercial to residential. So they changed his zoning. And so they're taking the development rights, changing the zoning, but the whole goal is to get you slowly to the cities, cluster zoning near the cities, stack and pack housing. So that's the thrust behind this, that it's climate change zoning. We've got to stop the greenhouse gases. Now, I didn't bring it with me, but the Antrim County, I have Time Magazine cover from 1977. You can Google this. Prepare for the next coming ice age. 52 things to get ready. We were going to freeze to death. Well, then I flipped it over and I had a 2006 Time Magazine cover. They said, forget the freezing to death, now we're going to burn up. So that's kind of what this is based on, is climate change zoning. And I got to remind you, this is, let me back up for a little bit and tell you how Agenda 21 came to our communities. George Bush originally went to the climate summit in Rio de Janeiro. I think it was the Earth Summit with the United Nations, I believe in '92. He liked it, he brought it back, but it was really Bill Clinton that said, we're going to make this the law of the land. You know, they want this carbon tax and, you know, all this stuff. So he called together a governor's council, of which Jennifer Granholm was at. I believe that was 2001. She came back and by executive order, she set up the Michigan Land Use Leadership Council. It has since been disbanded, however, I talked to the attorney that set that up. And that was solely, that committee was solely set up to funnel Agenda 21 into our communities. And from there it was turned over, once they did that, they dissolved that, and this Agenda 21 zoning was funneled into the Michigan Planning Commissions. From there, it's been slipped into our communities. And I gotta tell you, it is normally done sneakily. They'll call it smart growth, sustainable development. There won't be these public discussions to say we're considering this zoning because we believe in climate change and we want to protect the environment. That never comes up. It ends up in your new master plans and you get this stuff whether you want it or not. And that is what they did in Mason County. We have Agenda 21 zoning down there. None of the community was informed. We're all learning now, and I got to tell you, there's some really hot people. I mean, they're really mad. One, where was the due process? You know, why weren't we involved in this process? Two, under the Fifth Amendment, there's really a taking here. Now, I may not be pulling the dirt out from underneath your feet, but I'm taking the rights to what you can do with the dirt from under your feet, and there's a value. I've been a real estate broker for 20 years. Let me give you a good example. 10 acres Lake Michigan is worth $1 million. If I split it up for you, I can get you 1.5 million. Agenda 21 comes in and says, no, we don't want you to develop that. We're changing the zoning. You can no longer do that. Well, they just took $500,000 from that person's pocket, and there's no money, see? There's no money exchange. So, you know, when we're taking someone's private property, there should be, you know, say, hey, you know what, we're financially impacting that person, and we should make that right. So, you know, it really comes down to a private property issue, and, you know, I guess I would put it this way. Here in America, we love individualism. That's what America's about. We protect our individual liberties. We're in a communist country, maybe Cuba, Russia, or China. It's collectively owned by the state, the whole. So you get to lease a little bit of it from the state, and you really don't have any rights. It's highly regulated. But here, we get to own private property, including those bundle of rights that you know, encapsulate that. And what I would ask you and what I said to the commissioners is, let's just really think about who we are as a people, and are we protecting, you know, our citizens' private property rights, or are we taking them away? And by the way, I used to vacation here as a kid. I don't know Jean, my Aunt Jean Burns, Buck Burns. That'd be my dad's sister. So I've spent my childhood here. Love it. I mean, it's in my blood. So I couldn't wait when we finally got to a point where we could come up here and start bringing my wife up here. Fell in love with it again. And I gotta tell you, as a realtor, I've dealt with so much zoning and just stuff. Central Lake Township has no zoning, yay! And I gotta tell you, it brought me here. I mean, I love that. I mean, it's still the free little place that I remember as a kid, and I hope it stays that way for, you know, many, many years into the decade. But if anybody's got any questions, or if there's just something you want me to touch on, there's a Google Agenda 21, there'll be more. Oh, and I will tell you this. People like to say, that's a 20-year-old non-binding agreement. Well, Bill Clinton actually signed it into law, but let me ask you this. If they pass Agenda 21 zoning, and can I go into the zoning department and say, hey, I don't need to pay attention to this. This is non-binding, see? It's non-binding until it's in your law and the master plan, and then we gotta follow it, you know? So that's my thought. I'm not really here to complain or anything, more educational. And I went up to Charlotte and got a copy of that resolution. And, you know, they called it what it is. It really is not a friendly deal to America. And maybe you guys just consider coming up with some sort of a resolution, or more than anything, you know that it's being discussed at the county level. I don't know if you were aware of it, but now you are, and, you know, just think about what you're getting into. And I will, one other thing, I should mention this. There are companies like Williams and Works is a big one. It's LIAA out of Traverse City and some other companies. They feed off townships and counties like this. They sell you master plans, and they push Agenda 21. Master plans, zoning updates, public surveys, and they'll promise you grant money, and they're gonna have all these goodies, you know, but remember, they're charging you money for these services. So I suspect that that's what's going on at the county level, because some reason, somebody didn't just say, let's look at this sustainable development. There was something that started the gears going, and my gut is that one of these companies came in, basically most of Antrim townships or counties not zoned, am I right? Some townships are, some aren't.
Right.
So they like to come into these communities and say, hey, look what we'll get you, we need you to sign up for this, you know. So they're pushing, they're promising you these, you know, they'll sign you up and get you these grants and stuff, and all you need to do is sign agreeing to implement Agenda 21 throughout the community. So I suspect that's what started this, but I kind of feel good that it's not going, I don't think it's going anywhere, you know, that's my hope. I'm glad to meet everybody here, by the way. And, hope things stay the way they are for many more years. I mean, think about it, we've never had zoning, ever, right?
Zoning was put in, but it was voted in, actually it's been voted in twice.
In Central Lake Township?
And both times there was a referendum, and it was voted out. Last time it was voted out, it wasn't 2-1, but it was getting close to that number. And I mean, now myself personally, I said that I would never put it back on an agenda, and I'll still with
God bless you.
a grassroots movement of the people that were against it would come in and want zoning, then I think we're here to represent the people, and we look at it. That's my
What I
personal
notice
feeling.
is maybe someone that wasn't here for 30 years, it looks more beautiful than ever, and I think, geez, no zoning, it seems to be working just fine, So that's what Agenda 21 is, sustainable development, smart growth, you know, is a visionary plan on protecting the planet from burning up, and the rest you can Google, and you'll, 3,000 pages of stuff.
Well, I knew you were coming, so I did Google some of it, so, and I was familiar with it roughly, but.
There's a lot of ICLEI cities that's part of Agenda 21, for instance. Traverse City is one, but I forget, somebody brought it up at the safety, health, and whatever the other meeting was, and he said, I Googled this, and There was once like 400 people in the ICLEI, the cities, and now it's like down to 200. They don't want it, they're rejecting it, and they're getting away from it, so. All right, thank you.
Okay, been enlightening. I guess the board is interested in passing this or something, we'll bring it back. No one's really had a chance to read it.
Sure.
But it was educational.
I would mention too, Missouri, Alabama, Florida. If you Google states that have outlawed agenda, whole states are outlawing it and just, getting rid of it.
So what was your feeling with the Antrim County Board? You said that you don't
Well,
think that there are...
I'll just tell you how that went down. I was at a meeting in Bel Air and I met a gentleman and he happened to say I was telling him about Agenda 21 in Mason County. He goes, well, they're discussing that here tomorrow in Antrim County. I go, no, I don't want to hear that. So the meeting was in the safety,
Public safety.
Public health and safety.
yeah. So that's where it was. And then I told Bob about it and he decided we'd go to a commissioners meeting. And I don't think anything's gonna, I don't know, but I don't think it's going anywhere. So we went to a commissioners meeting and they said, yeah, it's been brought up a couple times in the last couple of years, and including the safety meeting more recently. And Bob asked them why they would be talking about zoning in a safety meeting, and they said, well, we decided it was a safety issue, which I thought was a little strange. I'm thinking, why would zoning be I guess you could say the world burning up would be a safety issue.
But I'm sure that the county board will be getting back with me. And I sure hope that you get back with me.
Yeah.
But this is something, again, it just sounds like it's basically all zoning. It's not all zoning. It's getting into our rights.
It is. It really is about private property rights.
And, it's a snowball. Again, there's a lot of literature out there, and the big guys are the ones that are pushing this thing. And just to read, just let me give you a couple of these. Now, I'm not gonna read the 50 pages, or nothing else. But this is why. The basis of this whole travesty is a philosophical difference regarding the worth of man, the condition of the planet, and the expectations for the future. The world has a cancer, and that cancer is man. That was by Merton Lambert, former spokesman for the Rockefeller Foundation. If I were reincarnated, I would wish to be returned to Earth as a killer virus to lower human population levels. Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, leader of the World Wildlife Fund. Isn't the only hope for the planet that the industrialized civilizations collapse? Isn't that our responsibility to bring that about? That was Maurice Strong. That was one of the forerunners of this Agenda 21. A total population of 250 to 300 million people, a 95% decline from present levels would be ideal. Ted Turner, CNN founder, UN supporter, and environmentalist.
I think, some of that.
Just to give you, that's just a little drop in the bucket.
Well, I think that as a board, that you wouldn't expect anybody here to pass it. I think that people are going to have to, read it themselves. I have seen the first page, this page I've not seen, so I don't have a problem with bringing it back, but thank you for enlightening us and bringing it to us. And
I'd like to, and if you don't think this is even, this is not only being slid at the local level, this is a big thing at the top level. I don't know if you remember our president being in Africa, he said, Africa, it's not your fault that America got all the wealth first, but if you get the big car and the fancy house, the planet will boil. So, they want to shut down the coal industry, and, it's really a nefarious deal, and a lot of people sadly don't know about it. I can tell you, people in Mason County, I know you got Agenda 21 zoning, they'll go, what's that? Just a lot of people are kind of sadly clueless on it, so.
I don't think any time soon if you have to worry about zoning here in Central Lake.
Good, Stan. We like it.
This is just a protective thing. Well, thanks again for your time.
Yeah.
We're gonna get out of here.
We appreciate it.
Thanks, folks.
Call me anytime, Well, whatever, I'll give you 5 minutes to make a decision, I'll be back in.
Okay.
Thank you.
Maybe you better go down to the restaurant there for a few minutes. Thanks for coming. Okay, move on to public comment.
I have a couple questions.
Sure.
In the budget, do you have something, Andrew, you can give me? And was there any increase to officer salaries or trustee salaries this year?
We increase,
I'm gonna
two,
copy of it.
yeah,
Well, I've got the
2%
copy of the line for that.
for the fire department. And then we increase, you have the exact amount. We increased the clerk and the treasurer roughly about 10%. Those increases, we feel that both of them are way below any other
When was the
township.
last time they got an increase, do you know offhand?
I think we got an increase of up to 1.5% last year, wasn't it? Do you remember?
Okay.
1.5%.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it was.
And the 2% for firefighters,
Yes.
is that for everyone?
And again, based on what other people are getting, and another thing, I'll say for, like the treasurer and the clerk, there's money in there for deputies, and, I think this treasurer with just such a small amount is $200. The clerk didn't use any money except, she put her election people in there, which actually that could have went into the election cost center, so we feel that most of those,
That's fine, Stan, thank you.
okay, these are the rates, well, I want to explain it to you, Linda. Well, I don't know what
Most of
you're
it's
gonna,
over my head, Stan.
I don't know what you're gonna put in there.
Does anyone
but-
have anything else before I tell them about something I heard today? Something on the news tonight you might want to look into. The legislature has made a move to appropriate $100 million of that extra road fund money that was put out there. It was on the news tonight, just something you might be looking into. They've asked that it be rerouted to the road commissions directly to help them with their winter budgets, because a lot of them are apparently in deep doo-doo because of the winter. And I'm hoping that really doesn't happen extraordinarily, because that might hurt the Old State Road project.
Well, the big thing, you weren't here last meeting, okay? You are familiar that we were gonna put up the match with,
You were, but you're not going to now, you don't
Well,
have to.
we don't have to.
Right.
If the
If the state comes
state
through.
gives the road commission the money. Now, if they don't give them the money, that this is a federal grant, so they will go ahead and pave state road to
Okay.
Muckle Road, and then we'll be responsible for the match.
Well, they're just talking about it, and the legislature, I would be very surprised if they did anything before spring. So,
Well, Bert's hope was, he'd like to go out for bids in March, and he was hoping that that money would be dedicated at least by then, and then instead of just bidding at the Muckle Road, they will bid it.
if I get time this week, I'm gonna give him a call and
Yeah,
see
okay,
if he's
he's
heard
the one
about
that
this.
can answer this better
Yeah.
than I can, because all I
It's
do
just
is.
talk at this point.
Right, I asked him if he's prepared to, we have a contract with him, give me a letter or give me a release on that money, and he said, no, because it's just, until the state gives it to them,
Yeah,
they're stuck with,
yeah.
going ahead with this project.
Well, hopefully that'll get tabled.
Well, we do too, because we'll take the money and use it, on another road in the township.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay,
I'll
I
make
guess
a
we're,
motion to adjourn.
I support it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.